What is up, guys? Cajun here, and we are back with the community live stream recaps. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I figured today was a big community live stream. I think it was like 2-3 hours, something like that. But there was a lot talked about that I think you guys would like to know. And so let's just jump into it. Today on the live stream we had Wadi, Mako, and Nigel. And at the start they had the teaser trailer, or the trailer for the Operation Frontier event, or operation, or pass. I don't know really what to call it yet. But it showed off all the cool skins from the Operation Frontier Pass, and a teaser to something new that maybe we'll get into in a bit. It had that building in the end. I'm going to have to make another video about that. But Wadi wanted to start off talking about worlds, but wait, he was like, now let's talk about 1.35. Wadi! You're out of practice. Come on, Wadi. How how dare you? So first they started with the 1.35 update, and the first thing they talked about were operations, the new system that they're going to be having instead of critical passes. It's going to be operations, and the first operation, Operation Frontier. Like I said, it's the new Battle Pass system and is a result of what the community has wanted, with the longer Battle Passes and more exclusive rewards. The new Operation passes should take around 1 to 2 months. There are a good bit of free rewards and a ton of premium rewards. Like I said, 100 tiers. If you missed my video about that the other day, definitely go check that out. It should pop up, hopefully, if I remember to do that. The cost for the operation is 2,000 credits, but if you complete the operation, you get all 2,000 credits back, and that's really what's important. Am I right? Skins, cases, emblems, credits, animation, knives, gloves, literally everything in there, except love, of course, as Mako said. So, for those trying to find love out there, I'm sorry, that's not in the past. That's not in the operation. You're going to have to look elsewhere. Mako's favorite skin, he said, were the Sanguine Glove and Knife combos. Wadi said he loves the animations. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all they talked about for the operation stuff. Moving on. New weapon balancing. And I say new because we just had a weapon balance update, Cajun. What are you talking about? But of course, we had one again because people don't know how to get used to a new feature, and so heavy armor was taken out of the game. Heavy Kevlar and helmet were removed. Light Kevlar and helmet were renamed to just Kevlar and helmet again. And with that, the price for the helmet increased to 300. Kevlar rose to 600, so now it's 900 for helmet and Kevlar. I'm glad that helmet and Kevlar are still being kept separate, so you can buy just each one every round, rather than the helmet and Kevlar for, I think it was like $800. So it still has that strategy on pistol rounds about, oh, well, should I upgrade my gun? Should I buy helmet? What should I do here for the start? There were also some changes, a lot of changes to guns actually, to kind of balance out the missing heavy armor. Scar H was lowered from, the damage was lowered from 53 to 43, so 10 damage. Huge nerf there. Also, the penetration category was lowered from very high to high, and the price has been lowered from 4,200 to 3,700, which is going to be... it's strange in a second. There were also changes to the HK 417. Got a huge buff, in my opinion. Kind of a buff in damage, but a nerf in everything else. Increased damage from 37 to 45. Penetration category lowered from very high to high, and then increased price from 3,500 to 4,000. So now the Scar H is cheaper than the HK. So that is very interesting, especially now that the HK has higher damage output than the Scar currently does. But then again, lower fire rate. So do you take the SCAR? Do you take the HK? I still think you take the SCAR, but I think the HK can be used at certain points. Changes to the KSG, the newest shotgun, lowered damage from 28 to 18 or 21 to 18, excuse me, and increased the price from 2,200 to 2,600. I feel like that's a pretty good change. I don't think with that price point anyone is going to use that gun though, especially with the lowered fire rate that we saw when it was first coming out. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think people very rarely use shotguns, and so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. There's changes to the SA-58 too, mainly just a damage buff from 18 to 22. Also, the penetration category for AUG and M4 has been raised from medium to high, so that's kind of a buff on their part. Lower damage for all other shotguns. FP6 goes from 16 to 15, M1887 goes from 18 to 16, and Super 90 goes from 14 to 12. So Super 90 has been nerfed into the ground. Kind of the same thing with the M1887 and the FP6, so you really do have to be very, very close range for these guns to work. I don't know. I think that every time the shotguns get nerfed and that like CF is trying to bring shotguns into the spotlight, they're like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to, players just don't want to do that. And so it is what it is. A buff for snipers though. All snipers are no longer impacted by damage drop offs. So that's pretty cool to see, especially since ranked maps are so quote unquote small. They're not really small, but like they're small enough to where a sniper shouldn't have damage drop off at the distances like from like say you're in Vent Hall Bureau all the way to like the corner of the spawn where they turn in. There shouldn't be damage drop off there. I don't know if that was as far as it was, but yeah, that shouldn't be a thing. Some highlights that they talked about were the heavy Kevlar stuff and how it was tested with the 1.34 live test where they removed it for a little while. And they're like, hey, what do you guys think? SCAR nerfed, as community said, it was a bit too strong. KSG balanced. All these changes always posted to the Critical Ops website. Don't forget, take a look and let the devs know what you think constructively. Don't just whine about it. Weapon balance update is mostly to balance out the heavy Kevlar removal, or heavy armor removal, excuse me. And always keep an eye on the in-game inbox to see new updates and anything that's important. Moving on to level gating. This is something new that was introduced in 1.35. And basically, it's level thresholds for each game mode. So if you're a new player starting out, maybe you'll just have TDM or elimination opened at first. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's elimination first, then you get TDM, then you get casual diffuse, and then eventually you get ranked diffuse, and I think it's at level like 25 or 30 or some stuff, something like that. But it's there for new players to slowly learn the basics and the game as you progress, with ranked, of course, being on last, like I said. Nigel mentioned it allows players to ease into ranked because ranked is like serious and intense, and it's supposed to be that high level game mode. Mako said, similar things, but of course important for new players so they don't get overwhelmed all at once trying to hop into ranked. Also, this is a pretty good barrier to deter bad actors and malicious gameplay, cheaters, smurfs, all that stuff. And I'm excited to see how this goes, because it's going to be very interesting to see how fast new players are able to progress through that, and stuff like that. But with level gating, of course, how do you get levels? Well, through XP. Something that was also introduced this update, double XP game modes, weekends, events, etc. Just keep checking the playlist tab or the play tab to see which game modes have double XPs. Hint, we'll get into later. Maybe one this weekend. Ooh, nice. But yeah, so maybe you'll get those operation levels a bit quicker, as well as just your regular level. Also, with this, side note, ad boosting has kind of been nerfed to an extent. You don't get as much XP when you watch ads after games or after missions. So keep that in mind. I don't know how double XP is going to work with that. It'll give you double XP also for the boost. It's weird. We don't know yet, but I guess we'll see this weekend when possibly it is released. 1.35 map updates. Nigel was there to talk about that, of course. He talked about the lighting updates that happened to basically every map. He said that he's been working hard to change lighting to make things lighter and make characters more visible. Of course, opposite in the case of Purify, characters are actually darker in that map, which is cool because Manhunt's going to be coming back. Get into that a bit later, and you get to see stuff. And well, actually, don't get to see stuff. But if you're the hunter and you have the primal vision, then you probably get to see stuff. Anyway, but yeah, Nigel asked you to read the patch notes because he spends a lot of time typing them up and working on them, and to show you guys exactly what's changed. But as I said earlier, the thing that everyone was waiting for with the Operation Frontier trailer, we have a new map coming in 2022. Nigel has been working very hard on it. I could talk about it a bit now since they, put it in the dev stuff. It's awesome. It looks awesome. I haven't gotten to play much of it in PTP, but we have been working alongside Nigel to help him figure out the layout and figure out timings and stuff like that. It's still in the early stages, but there's a couple of teaser images right here that I'm gonna hopefully put up on screen. It looks very, very good. And not only that, of course the teaser trailer referred to this map, but the map that is on the teaser trailer, it's not gonna be the same exact castle that is in the map. Like, of course, it's a reference, but as Nigel works on it, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to look the same. That was kind of like the first, iteration of what the map is. There also were comments about this picture where the trees are dying.
Like, it's like more or less a small island, a castle, and it's autumn, fall. Yeah, the trees are dying, so that's why it's orange. Yes.
And that joke just kept going throughout the whole stream. Make sure to watch the whole stream as well. They didn't do it on YouTube for some reason this time, but it is the VOD is up on Twitch. You can go watch it, twitch.tv/criticalopsgame. So that'll be cool. And then Nigel said the magic words that yes, the map will be out, probably, most likely, in 1.36, and of course it will be a ranked map by the time it comes out, so it'll be added to the ranked pool like many others as it comes out. So that's pretty much all they talked about for 1.35. Next, it's Worlds time, and I didn't even realize this, but Worlds is like a couple days away. They start the preliminaries November 1st. We're going to get into that a second, or right now. So Worlds, November 1st, 2022, prelims. That's literally in like 5 days, which is just awesome to think that the first ever Critical Ops World Championships are going to be in less than a week. So that's insane. But what is Worlds, you may ask? Well, it's the biggest tournament in Critical Ops history, pretty much, with the top 8 teams from each region coming to play in the tournament. And I say coming to play in the tournament. This isn't a LAN event or anything, as far as I know. It's still all online, of course, with COVID restrictions in different countries and, getting visas and flights and all. It's a lot of work, and I don't think Waddy and the team are yet ready to do all that yet, or have the money to do all that yet. But it's the top 8 teams from each region, and you may be asking, well, how do they determine what teams are the top 8 teams? Well, Circuit is the kind of like ground level points accumulation system. So if you win Circuit, you get, for example, like 20 points. If you get in second place, you get like 15, so forth and so on. And so these placements that these teams have been getting in each circuit go towards the final points that they got for Worlds. And we'll be going into what teams are in just a second. But let's go prizes first. What are these teams going to win? Of course, that's the most important aspect. Money. So just note here, I didn't realize this until I read this at the bottom of the graphic that they showed. Money prizes are divided equally between all roster members, and I was like, okay, yeah, I figured that. But other prizes, credits, for example, we're going to go into here, are individually rewarded to each player. So that is the big thing. And here's the graphic. Champions get $12,000. That's about like $2,000 per player, something like that. They each get a championship ring, which is pretty cool. They each get a glove and knife combo, and then they each get 25,000 credits. That is a ton of credits. And I know all these guys, like, especially if you're going to win the World Championship, you already have a ton of credits to begin with, doing every tournament. I'm recording! What? Go ahead.
I just thought you were talking a shit ton, man.
No, I'm recording for a video.
Oh, are you gonna edit this out?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, actually not. I'm gonna keep
Could
it.
you please?
No. Anyway, like I was saying, if you're playing in all these tournaments, you definitely have a ton of credits already. But 25,000 credits per person, that's insane. Second place gets $6,000 for, not for each member, but, in between all members. Glove and knife combo for each member, 15,000 credits to each member. Third place gets 3,000 split upon the roster. A knife skin, just a knife skin, and then 10,000 credits per member. Fourth place gets 1,000 credits, knife skin for all the members, 5,000 for all the members, 5,000 credits for all the members, and then fifth through eighth place each get $500 to split among each other and 3,000 credits each. And then there is an MVP award where one player per region will earn $250. Now the schedule for Worlds, it's a lot. CF and I don't remember if it's mobile esports or compact or if it's all three, but they're doing a lot of work. The prelims round 1 are November 1st through November 10th. Round 2 is November 12th through 13th. The South America and Asia prelims round 2 will be the 12th. North America EU will be the 13th. The preliminary elimination will be November 14th through 17th. And then the streams start for the conference rounds. So we don't get to see any of the preliminary rounds. Hopefully we'll be able to see that in the future. I really want to see that, but I can't blame them because they're going to be doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of streaming. Not in a row, but or 9 days, 9 days of streaming. But I wish we could see prelims, man. I wish. But of course that is a ton of work, especially with an online event. If it was LAN, I'm sure it would be a lot easier. You could just run through them all in a day and stuff like that. But anyway, the conference rounds, like I said, this is where the stream starts. South America and Asia round 1 is November 19th. North America and EU is the day after on the 20th. Then round 2 will be the November 26th for South America and Asia, and then the 27th for NA and EU. Then the next week, I think, is the Conference Championships. Finals for EU and Asia will be December 3rd. Finals for South America and North America will be December 4th. And I'm pretty sure that's the EU champion and the Asia champion facing off, the South America and North America champion facing off against each other to see who goes to the grand finals and who goes to the third, fourth place match. The third place decider, which will be the third and fourth place teams, will be on December 9th. And then the grand finals, reminder, a best of 7. I believe 4 maps day 1, 3 maps day 2, if needed. December 10th and 11th. So that'll be pretty exciting. And announced were the teams that are making it into the World Championships. From Asia, we have Saints, Zilnix Reborn, Immense, Legacy Asia, The Boys, Team Ares, SX Xylo, and Crossfire. In Europe, we have Invictus, King's Revival, Elevate, Exclusive, Team G9, Amplified, Rain, and Hammers. In North America, we have Seminole, Sentinel, Phoenix, Miracle, One Show, Invertus, Underestimated, and Xenocide. In South America, we have Blackout X, The Darkness, Vega Sirius, Flawless, Evil Vision, Darkness Seops, Resurgent, and Axel Gaming. And I don't know about y'all, but I am super excited about Worlds. It's gonna be insane. Like, honestly, I can't think. I'm ready for the streams. Even though we don't get to see like half of what happens, we don't really get to see any of the preliminary matches. I'm so excited to see the streams, because Wadi has also said that they have a lot of production value going into these streams. So I'm really excited to see what he and Compact Esports, Mobile Esports, if they're in on it too, what they've cooked up. So really excited to see the Worlds. Next, kind of, I guess, not as important as comp stuff, we have Nights of Horror coming back, and it's not going to be Nights of Horror 5. It's just going to be plain old Nights of Horror. It's going to be going live tomorrow or today if I can get this uploaded. If I don't get this uploaded by the 28th. And Manhunt will be back. And don't forget, Purify has new lighting where characters aren't as easy to find. So it's extra spooky, extra dark, stuff like that. They will be bringing back the 2020 and 2021 Nights of Horror cases into the game, as well as the 2020 and 2021 Nights of Horror lucky spins into the game. So that'll be pretty cool to see. If you haven't got any of those things, feel free to get those skins. This will probably be one of the last times you can get them, because they've stated before that they want to do different cases, different events, and stuff like that. So some secret stuffs that were shown towards the end here in one of the dev builds, and this will most likely be in 1.36. The show FPS meter is now movable. And the way this came about is that it bothered Nigel so much. He has a curved device like me. I have the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. And when I turn my FPS meter on, it's hidden in the top right corner. So it bothered Nigel so much, he literally went and put this in the game himself. He personally coded it, put it in the game, and like, that's insane. And Nigel's not really a coder. Like, he knows a little bit, but like he's the level designer. Like, and it bothered him so much that he went and put this into the game. So props to Nigel. And Wadi and Mako were also quick to remind everybody that Critical Force is always looking into quality of life stuff, as well as, putting new things into the game. And quality of life stuff, but also new thing, it will be a new tab of the settings menu. It's going to be gameplay. And one of the things in there is customizable crosshair color. It's finally here, boys. Now, for now, it's not complete customization. It's just color. You still get to, do the size and everything, but you can do whatever color you want. You can do pink, you could do light blue, you can do green. It's a little slider, and then a second slider pops up, to do the hue, whether you want it lighter or darker. And we've been asking for this since like 2016, 2015. So to see this finally be a part of COPS is insane. I've already gotten to mess around with it in PTP, and the blue crosshair, I like my light blue crosshair. It's great. So it'll be cool to finally get crosshair colors. Not that it'll make a huge difference, but yeah, it'll be pretty cool. So now we're getting into the Q&A section. Question 1 was, come on, Nigel, give us some more info on the new map. Is the map going to be called Castle? And Nigel confirmed that Castle is currently the working name. It won't be the final name. I can't tell you guys the final name. I don't even think he knows the final name yet. I'm not sure I know it yet. Second was custom crosshair shapes. And like I said already, Mako iterated this and wanted to make it very clear that crosshair changes will only for now be color. And then later on, shapes and all, and dots, and all the settings you've seen in CS and Valorant and all may come later. But for now, it's just color, and honestly, I think we need to be perfectly fine with that. Like we're getting something in the way of crosshair customization, to where we don't have to download a third-party app or something to get a crosshair overlay on our screen. So that's pretty cool. Someone asked about Molotovs. Of course, that's in every community live stream, but this time it was a little bit different because it has been teased that Molotovs and decoy grenades were going to come out. And Mako said that originally the plan was to do something with Molotovs and decoys, maybe add them into the game. But it was supposed to be a package deal with heavy armor. So since the community didn't really like the heavy armor, and the community didn't take it as CF expected, Molotovs and decoys are going to have to be brought back a step, and they're going to be evaluated a bit more. But it doesn't look like they're coming into the game anytime soon. And, just a personal note, basically, just my opinion here. The people who couldn't get used to heavy Kevlar and armor, you basically killed mollies and decoys. So you whined about it a lot, and now you got multiple features taken out. Just FYI. Next question. Subway and Legacy. And Wadi said, well, why would you want a sandwich shop in Legacy? You got Cafe. That should be enough, right? And of course, Nigel, realistically came in and said, he's answered it so many times. There's currently not really any plans to bring Subway back into Legacy. Design-wise, it just didn't work out well. The new Diffuse map is his main priority for the end of this year. He said something about maybe next year could be more a year of rebalancing old maps and stuff like that, to where I'm trying to think of a way he said it. Like, now that he's reworked all the maps, pretty much, I think he's reworked them all. It's easier to go and fix them, and so he could rebalance them better than he was able to beforehand. So it could definitely be next year, like a lot of rebalancing with the old maps and with the existing maps. And he even said, hey, Legacy's not my favorite map either. And I hear you guys that I think it's B site is like the hardest site to take in the game, because there's literally 2 entrances and there's not a lot of strategy. Like, you either come in through glass or you come in through mid. And by the time, there's really only one consistent possibility, and that's glass. Like, you have to play so well to be coming out of mid. It's insane. And usually mid is used to go to A. You smoke off the right side, smoke off the guy statue, and you go A. Legacy needs to be looked at a lot. And even Nigel said it's not his favorite map. But it's not the priority right now. Someone asked, when is the double XP weekend? And Mako said, very top secret, very top secret. He guesses we'll have double XP this weekend. So keep an eye out tomorrow. See if we have some double XP. Who knows? Someone jokingly asked, Subway and Plaza? And Nigel and Wadi both made the joke that, well, it's kind of already there. It is already there. There is like the hole and the steps down right behind the bus stop. And I think there's also one by T-Spawn, the little concrete barrier. And then they also joke, well, there's Market, so get your sandwiches there. I don't know. Someone asked if the new map was bigger than all the other ranked maps. Nigel mentioned that it was the same size pretty much as all the others. Of course, they vary slightly all from each other. Like, they're not all the exact same size, but they're all pretty much the same size. Timings are all mostly the same. And yeah, this is pretty much just a normal diffuse map, like always. He says it doesn't really pay to make bigger maps because that would ruin the flow of the other maps and all that stuff. So, going to be pretty much the same as all the others. Someone said space map, and Nigel said nah. Literally verbatim. You can go back and watch the stream. He was like nah. And then the last question, someone said, maybe can we get an option to switch the gun from the right hand to the left hand? Nigel confirmed that there's no plans currently on that. But Waddy said, there's been talks in in meetings and stuff like that. And it would be cool to have, but, unfortunately it's not the main priority at the moment. It's one of those quality of life things, kind of like Crosshairs, where they're going to push it back and back and back and back until they're like, okay, we have some time, we can do it. And so that was all, I'm pretty sure, of the stream. Let me just double check, make sure I didn't miss any teasers at the end, which I don't think I did. So yeah, no real misses here. All in all, pretty pog in terms of the info we got in this stream, because we got a good bit. And so it's gonna be awesome to see the 1.36 update. It's going to be awesome to have Manhunt back in the game. But let me know your favorite part about the live stream. And again, go check out the VOD. I condensed these somewhat, but really, looking at the time right now, it's 32 minutes and 16 seconds. So the VOD is about an hour of stuff they actually talked about, maybe an hour and a half. And of course, it's Waddy, Nigel, and Mako making some good jokes. So definitely go give them a listen. Go give the actual channel a listen. And with all that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.